Alright guys, I just wanted to share with you a few ideas that I'm looking at. Every morning before the London Live Room opens, I go through and I do my pre-market analysis. And I thought I'd share with you a couple of things, or a few things that we're looking at this morning, just before the London Live Room opens. To give you guys a heads up on what we're looking out for during this London Live Room session this morning, and potentially going into the day. So first of all, Aussie CAD. We're on the 60-minute chart here, and you can see that we have been bullish. Okay, we were putting in new structure highs, outside returns, new structure highs. We got up to 99.60s before we retested this level. We didn't violate the previous high, putting in this double top. RSI went overbought on the initial test, and we had some bearish divergence on the RSI on the second test, which indicates that we could see some relief or some movement to the downside, or even a change in trend. And as you can see, we came down, we retested this previous structure low, then we came up and we put in a lower high, followed by a break and close below structure. Then we put in a lower high, new structure low, lower high, new structure low. So we had a trend reversal. Now, if we were looking at where market's likely to go, let me just clear these off. You can see that we've got this harmonic ABCD equal measure move lining up with previous structure. Resistance becomes support. Okay, so I'm predicting that market's likely to go down to 96.80s. Now the question is, how can we get involved? Well, there's a few things we can look at. First of all, structure support. Previous structure support should become resistance. We've essentially got an outside return anywhere up to this previous structure resistance level up here. This previous structure resistance level, as long as we don't violate that level, this is a valid outside return in this zone. Okay, now this isn't going to give us a one-to-one. As soon as we get into this zone here, if we're shooting for a retest of the lows, well then that's just not going to give us the risk reward we want, because we've got to get stops above previous structure highs. Now one level I'm looking at is this previous structure support level in here at 98.20s. Okay, if we can push up to 98.20s, we all of a sudden get if we're shooting for a retest of the lows, we all of a sudden get our risk reward that we want. Let's bring on an ATR. Okay, so if we've got if we're going to go an ATR above previous highs, we can start to weigh out where we get that aggressive one-to-one. You can see that we get a one-to-one at this level, more than a one-to-one at this level. So anywhere in this zone here, okay, would be from this previous structure resistance level to this area here would be a potential entry area. Okay, so if we can push up to that level, if market can push up to this level, we can start to look for our entry reasons. Now for me, I'll need RSI to go overbought, and I'll need a lower low, lower close candle in this zone. Okay, stops above the high, and obviously the higher we push up into this area, the better the risk reward's going to become, and we can start to adjust that up and down depending on where market pulls up to. So that's one opportunity to pay attention to. But if market continues to push up, here, well then we've got a potential. If we bring on our fib retracement tool, if market continues to push up, we've got a potential CYPHER formation up at, so you can see we've got a CYPHER up at 99.19, and if you take conventional targets, your target 1 will be down at 98.46, with your target 2s being at 98.02. So you can see it's a nice risk reward for a CYPHER formation. Cipher formations have a high expectancy, and if you can get more than a 1-to-1 on a cipher, usually they're an inverse risk reward, but we take them regardless because of the probable expectancy of the pattern. But if you do take ciphers, well then there's one. If market continues to push up, we've got a high probable trading opportunity at 99.19. So keep an eye out for that. The second thing I wanted to share with you was pound yen. Now we're pushing up and we're retesting this level of previous structure resistance here. Okay, we came down after the Brexit, pulled up, held this level at 143s. We came down, put in a new structure low. We pushed up and we've just tested this level again, and now we're pushing up to that level again. Now, if we zoom in here, you can see that any of you advanced pattern traders, and you can see that we've got a bearish Gartley formation here at 142.26. And if I draw this on for you, X to A to B, B to C, and a CD completion, we've actually filled this pattern. Now, because of the stop loss, this is going to be quite a large stop loss because the ATR is quite high on this pair. I know that my stop loss has to be above 143.97, so I can't enter this until 142.97, which is going to be around this area here. So this would be my entry, and my targets would be conventional targets down at 140.99 and 139.75 for target 2. Now, if targets are, what I'll do is I'll roll my Fibonacci retracement tool up, and I'll keep an eye on what price action does, because if we hit conventional targets, if we come down to the 382 from this point here, from now, then I won't be able to get involved at this level. I'll only be able to get involved at this level here if price action just continues straight up to that level. I can't hit, if we hit conventional targets on the way up, then I won't be getting involved in the trade, because the expected move has already happened. But this is a rule I've got in my trade plan, that if market doesn't fill the would-be targets or the conventional targets, and price action continues to push up, I can get involved at a higher price to get me in my stop loss rules, met, and also to get obviously a better risk reward. And this could be a very profitable trade. Counter trend traders will be looking at this area for a structure based trade anyway. We've got a doji candle looking left. If we can come up and test this area, you might want to look out for another doji, or a little maybe you'll be looking out for a double top on a lower time frame and looking to get involved that way. So just another little setup that I wanted to make you aware of. And the last trade I wanted to make you aware of was Euro Yen. So Euro Yen, similar to the Pound Yen, except we are already testing this previous structure high, and we have got a doji candle at that level. So I know lots of you guys in the room look at candle formations. We've got a doji at previous structure. This can be quite powerful. RSI isn't overbought yet, but you may either enter on these dojis, or you may look for a double top to enter this counter trend trading opportunity here. Either way, if you're looking for a double top, you could get your stops and ATR above the high. So if we just bring on the ATR at the moment, it's about 30 pips. So if your stop loss is going above the high, you're going to be at 118.70. And depending on where you enter, I know some of you guys use the 382. I would not feel comfortable shooting past the 382 on a counter trend move. The 382 just so happens to line up with previous structure resistance. If you enter anywhere in this area here, depending on if you get that risk reward that you need, I'll be looking for okay, and then you may decide to take target 2s down at 618 or previous structure lows. So a couple of things to pay attention to. keep your eye out for those this morning, and come and join us in the live room. You can come over to www.tradingpowered.co.uk, click on the London live room banner, and you can come in for free for a week. See if see how you feel about it, see what it's all about, and if it's for you or not. Lots and lots and tons of great reviews. We've got great community in there. Or you can go over to the New York session live room to trade with a kill, which is 8 AM to 11 AM New York time. Depending on what time zone suits you best, it's all about when you can spend that consistent time in front of the charts every day, and be at your charts at the same time. So consistency is everything. So that's why we run 2 live rooms depending on when is convenient for you. But I look forward to seeing you in the room, and take care.